This is the future.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, thewierdguy here and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be ranking all the Supergirl characters in Injustice 2 Mobile. Keep in mind, this list will mainly keep in mind the rates and star rate performance. I will keep in mind Arena and Champions Arena, but slightly less, so if you are inclined to take that into consideration more than rates and star rates, then your top 1 and top 2 might be the other way around, and that's totally fine. If you got a different opinion, make sure to let me know down in the comments. And all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, and let's get into it. We're going to start off with Powered Supergirl. And boy, does this character sadly do nothing. Her passive is going to have the amazing ability of giving you a chance when you do basic attacks to be able to use your special one for free. So you're going to have a chance, not even guarantee a chance, that your special one is going to change the cost from 3 power bars to 0 power bars. Boy, that's already very cheap. That's already very cheap. Nobody needs that passive. That passive doesn't really do anything. And when we get to her abilities, she's gonna have the usual Supergirl special one that all the Supergirls in this video are going to have, except for one of them, that we're going to talk about later. Special 2 doesn't do anything, and Special 3, it's actually decent because it has a lot of instances of damage, and in Injustice 2 Mobile, the more instances of damage a special is going to have, the better, because the crit chance is going to be better spread out and you're not gonna be that much luck reliant. But that's as far as Powered Supergirl goes. I mean, she's looking very hot if I'm being honest, but other than that, there's nothing redeemable about this character. Except for thickness, she's not able to provide anything to your roster. But you know, sometimes that's just enough. But this tier list, nuts about that, so let's move on to the next one. Next up, we're going to have Dark Supergirl, and she is the best examples for 2 things in Injustice 2 Mobile. Thing number 1. Great idea for design, terrible execution because of the passive. The second thing, them not being willing to go and make the slightest change to some older character that will definitely help them out and make them relevant again. And yet again, I'm talking about her passive. So first of all, her skill set doesn't really do anything. Again, the special one is gonna have some dot other than that. She's gonna just have some abilities in there that don't have any effects other than dealing some damage. And her passive is going to interrupt enemy specials, is going to be unblockable, and if it interrupts an enemy special, she's gonna get a 100% damage buff, or I'm not sure if it's exactly that, but it's a huge damage buff and 100% crit chance, and that's literally 100%. She has guaranteed crits after she tags in and interrupts a special, and in theory, that could lead to some amazing damage. She might even be better if that worked properly, the Multiverse Supergirl in some fights. But there's a little bit of a problem with that. Other than the fact that you need a very specific situation for that to trigger, though it's not really the worst thing in the world if it didn't trigger, but her tag and attack, nah, it's simply gonna throw the opponent away. It's gonna throw the opponent away, and then by the time you're finally able to chain a combo and maybe use a special, your passive will be close to over. It's just unplayable. That's how bad the tagging is. It's simply impossible for her to chain a combo or a special after that. She awkwardly tags in and knocks the opponent away, and she's also locked a little bit into that animation. And that not only is unusable, but it happens on every single tag in the animation, not the buff, even if you don't interrupt the special. And because of that thing, not only she's unusable in the way she was kind of intended to be used because of that, she's even unusable if you're trying to ignore that, because even if you don't interrupt specials, that horrible tag is still gonna be there. So she's simply unplayable to some extent because of that, in Raids and Stories at the very least. In Arena and Champions Arena, you can make some use of her, and at the very least, even though it's kind of terrible and kind of counterproductive the way it was implemented, her passive does something. And in Arena, you can get away with chaining some special ones sometimes after the passive, and you're gonna be kind of fine. But again, Raid Stories is gonna be terrible, and boy, all they need to do to get this character so much better is simply get the animation tag in from Multiverse Supergirl, because they both work the same way, and put it on Dark Supergirl, and there you go, you have fixed the character, but nah, they're not gonna do it. But yeah, let's move on to the next character. Okay, so now we get to the good stuff. So we got here Multiverse Supergirl. So Multiverse Supergirl is gonna be a character that is yet again for the most part useless in raids and soul raids. You can use her to bolster the defense and survivability of your multiverse team if you need to, but you would ideally get to a scenario where you don't really need to do that, because you're looking for more damage usually. But when it comes to Arena and Champions Arena, she's actually one of the best characters at that in the game. She's a staple in the best multiverse arena team in my opinion. Some people prefer to use Green Arrow, I prefer to use her because of the following. Special 1 and Special 3 are nothing special because the Special 1 is gonna be the usual Supergirl dot, which is okay, but not amazing. Special 3 is not doing anything really. The Special 2 though, the Special 2 is going to have a freeze. Now freeze is pretty much going to work the same way as a stun, though it's not hindered by stun resistance. You could have max stun resistance and you wouldn't resist a freeze. There's only some specific characters that are able to have freeze immunity alongside with most of the raids and soul raid bosses, but other than Sub-Zero and Captain Cold, I think no characters are going to be able to resist your freezes, and it's long enough at high level, even though you'll most likely not see me use that in the video, because the Multiverse Supergirl I use doesn't have the Special 2 to upgrade, but you can literally spam it and win arena fights that way with enemies having literally no counterplay to that, and that makes her amazing in Arena and Champions Arena. And on top of that, she's gonna be in my Multiverse team, in my best Multiverse team, because of the fact that she's going to give them some armor, which is not the best thing in the world, but at the same time it's gonna tremendously reduce the damage that you take after you're below half health, and countless times that have saved me. So yeah, amazing character for Arena and Champions Arena, but sadly not great at raids and soul raids. Now moving on to number 2 and number 1, because we're going to talk about those characters kind of at the same time. We're going to have Power Girl and Multiverse Armored Supergirl. In my opinion though, this could go either way, it really depends what you value more. I would put at number 1 Multiverse, I would put Power Girl at number 1, you could put Multiverse Armored Supergirl at number 1, I could see definitely a reason for that. So Multiverse Armored Supergirl is going to be an amazing character for Arena and Champions Arena. She's maybe, arguably, the best damage dealer for Arena and Champions Arena. Not the best character, but the best character at dealing damage. Because she's gonna interrupt specials with her tagging, she's gonna deal tons with her Special 3, she's got defense on the Special 2, she's got Special 1 that actually is the only one different out of all the characters that we talked about, and inflicts burning, and that's far more useful. And she's a menace to fight against because she might randomly tag in with an unblockable tag in and one-shot your character. And on top of that, she's quite useful in raids and soul raids, but the thing with that is that she is not as useful in raids and soul raids as she used to be. When Dawn Apocalypse came, that being the first soul raid, the Multiverse team was quite short of the top 6 teams. They were the 7th best team, but still a great option if you don't have all teams. In rig raids, they were a stable against Captain Cold, because they were able to inflict crits on Captain Cold, and our characters were not able to, because Captain Cold in rig raids is going to have some crit resistance, and they're able to bypass that, and that's amazing. So the thing with Multiverse Armored Supergirl is that outside of being good at those specific things, she really doesn't pull that much damage in raids and soul raids, at the very least compared to other teams. Like the next best thing after the Multiverse team, like the team that would be ranked like the next better team, is going to be Silver Banshee, and Silver Banshee usually out-damages them by quite far, sadly. They're just not up to date with the teams that we play nowadays in raids and soul raids, but again, they're gonna be an amazing option until the point where you have the top 6 teams. And a lot of people are going to take a very long time until they have those teams. Now on the other hand, we have Power Girl, which is gonna be a character in the League Store. It's easier to get a Multiverse Armored Supergirl, though I didn't really take that into consideration too much. And as a character herself, she's not gonna do that much really. Like, she's going to get some damage as the fight goes on and on. Her damage gradually increases, though not by a huge margin. Her specials are nothing too great. The Special 3 can be chained into a combo afterwards, so that's nice. The Special 1 is the usual one, with a little bit of dots. So as a standalone character, she would easily not be as good as Multiverse Armored Supergirl. But she's got a passive that's going to reduce 2 power bar cost from the abilities of your entire team, no matter what team you put her in. And she's gonna be a must-have for the Banshee team. She's gonna sometimes find herself in a Raven plus Brainiac team, and that is literally the best team in the game in terms of damage. Raven, Brainiac, Power Girl. I mean, she is not mandatory in that team, but usually that team performs a little bit better if she's got her in there. The thing is that, in my opinion, she provides a ton of versatility to the point that if we get to some day where all the top 6 teams in the game, all the top 6 damage dealers that we have right now would fall, and we have brand new 6 top damage dealers, you'd still see her in one of the teams, because that passive is just too useful. But again, as a standalone character, if you're going to try and deal damage, try to do well in Arena and Champions Arena, Multiverse Armored Supergirl is definitely gonna be better than her, and I kind of see why people would like to put Multiverse Armored Supergirl above Power Girl, but I personally value far more the utility and the versatility, and the fact that no matter what happens, Power Girl is still going to be relevant. No matter what teams we see, no matter what combinations of teams we see, no matter what raids or stories are going to be up, Power Girl is always going to be there, always reducing the power for you, always useful. And she's quite tech, to be honest. But yeah, all that being said, that was it for this video. Again, if you got a different opinion, let me know down in the comments. I think a lot of people would put Multiverse Armored Supergirl above Power Girl, and that's totally fine. But I personally wouldn't. But yeah, all that being said, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe for more content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!
This is the future.